Give me some water.
Yeah.
I've been lying in this bed in Mobile for 7 years. The first thing I have to do is bathe. It's extremely painful. It's the worst part of my day. The part I do by myself as best as I can. I wash the front parts that I could reach, and Brenda helps wash my sides. In 2014, I was in that car accident. I lost feeling from my chest down. I developed bed sores and lymphedema. So, yeah.
All right, boom, let's just stop it right there. Right there. I want you to recognize what's on his plate here, or on his table. 2 breakfasts for 1 person. Enough to feed, I'd say, probably around about 4 kids, to be honest with you. Yeah. This man had been bedridden, bedbound, 7 years due to an accident, sadly for himself. The question is, though, is he going to end up losing the weight by the end of this video? Well, to be fair with you, that's the part that becomes the most interesting. But hey, let's continue, let's get into it. And please do hit the subscribe button. Let's get it and like the video.
Breakfast. It doesn't have to be huge. It just needs to be something that'll satisfy my urge right now. I had a fried chicken chain right across the street. I wouldn't buy a combo. I would buy the bucket. I ballooned to 450 pounds. And a lady didn't stop at a stop sign. And I didn't see her before it was too late. When her car hit me, I didn't have any broken bones, but because of the accident, I can't feel my legs. I had a problem with 3 discs. They were damaging the spinal cord.
All right, boom, bam. So as you can see right there, my man here was involved in an accident that definitely, pretty much paralyzed his whole spine, and also he, put him in a situation where he was bedridden. But of course, before he was even injured, and he was obviously became bedridden, he was already overweight. So we know that he already had a relationship with food that wasn't necessarily good. Then, of course, this is when Brenda comes in, the woman that he then meets and then marries. And the question is, though, for the past 7 years, he's been bedridden. Who has been feeding him? Now, that is where obviously we get into the more nitty-gritty of this man's story. I mean, listen, some of you guys may have actually seen this episode last night, obviously when it aired on TLC, and you probably already have your own thoughts. And for me personally, my thoughts, they may surprise some of you guys, obviously, as we go through this video. But for me personally, all I'm saying is this man was just as lucky as Tammy Slayton, but we'll get into that one.
I didn't fall in love with the body. I fell in love with his soul. So I just wanted him to do better for himself.
My muscles have atrophied in my legs because I'm not using them. Feet. So once they correct that, I should be able to start rehab.
Chocolate chip?
Yes.
Okay. Sandwich cookies too, right?
Do they have the macadamia ones?
Yeah.
Stop.
Let's just analyze that this woman said that, I didn't love it. I didn't obviously fall in love because the body was for the soul. It's funny, and she wants him to look after himself, but yet she's the one that's been feeding him literally past 7 years. I mean, don't get me wrong. This man has been feeding himself way before she existed, 1000%. But since she's obviously been in his life, obviously she has done nothing to obviously help this man do better. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is completely her fault and say that, yes, she's a feeder, yes, she's this and that, because usually that is kind of my angle to a certain degree. But I've kind of changed it a little bit because, you see, these people who decide to marry, these people who are then overweight or obese and obviously at this stage in their life, they marry people who are completely manipulative. Now, it's easy for me to say, well, you should never marry somebody that was going to, use you in this way and manipulate you. But at the same time, though, manipulation is a very powerful thing. And at the end of the day, these two did meet on a plus size website. And obviously, generally speaking, they're already both plus size. But just obviously throughout that time, what's happened is that he's continued to go bigger due to the fact that he became bedridden. And therefore, she did nothing but just enable everything that he wanted and never thought, hey, do you know what? Let me say no. And of course, sometimes in this situation, some of these people feel like if they keep giving this person what they want, all they're doing really and truly is giving that person the love that they want, the TLC that they want. And I don't mean TLC as in the learning channel, if you know what I mean. But nonetheless, though, it is still a case of where it's just ridiculous. But one thing that I did notice about her, and this is something that you probably won't see in this video because I don't think I put any clips in it, but I did notice that she was bigger when she met him, but then she did lose a bit more. She did lose a little bit of weight after obviously being with him now in this process. It's probably because she's had to feed him more food from her plate than she's been able to eat from her plate normally, because this is a man that doesn't have just 2 plates on his table. This is a man that definitely probably has like 3 or 4 plates on his table. And the reason I say that, well, we're going to get into that when you find out exactly how much this man actually freaking weighs, and you will see what I'm saying. But let's continue though with this story.
Me from not making the good choices is that it tends to be more expensive.
My apologies. I did pause the other one a bit too soon. To be fair, I was actually going to talk about that bit there when it talks about the reason why I buy all this poor food is due to the fact that healthy food is more expensive. Listen, I have been saying this for so many years. It is the biggest BS I've ever heard in my life. I say this because, you see, for me, when I was a teenager, when I was younger, okay, when I think around the ages of around the ages of 15 and probably until I was about 21, I'd say, until I actually started working properly, okay? Generally speaking, around the ages of 15, right, I wasn't working. I was still in school. So the money that I got was the pocket money that I got. I mean, literally, and to be fair, my pocket money was my school money, so I didn't really get pocket money. I got money for lunch, for school, you know what I mean? But I had to use that in other ways. So generally speaking, you know, throughout the first, from 15 to 16, I was getting about £20 a week, all right? I would still use that money to feed myself healthy-wise. So I would go to the store and I'd buy myself things like tin foods, whether that's tin tuna, tin salmon, okay? Obviously tin flipping sweet corn. And then also on top of that, I'd buy myself frozen frozen chicken. This is back when I used to eat meat. Now I'm pescatarian, but it is what it is. But, and I remember I used to buy these things, okay? Cheap little bulks. I even had a little mini fridge in my bedroom because sometimes people used to steal my food downstairs. So I had to, you know, store my own stuff. You know what I mean, so to make sure nobody took it. But either way, though, even though the meals that I had were pretty much boring as hell, I was literally eating tuna out of freaking of a can, like, you know what I mean. Sometimes it wasn't the best. I'm not gonna sit as if it was the best of the best, but I was able to eat healthy on a very, very low budget. And even by the time I started working, you know what I mean, okay, still eating food on a low budget, right? Okay, I mean, not working. So even when I signed on in the UK, we had something called Job Seekers Allowance, which is now called Universal Credit. If you're not working, you apply for the government and then they give you money. At the time, I believe I was getting about £50, I think it was, every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? 50 to 60 pound every 2 weeks. I had to make that last me the whole time when I was going to the gym, making sure I'm getting my proteins in, even buying the protein powders, all that kind of stuff. I had to find a way to make it work. Now, of course, sometimes, because I was still living at home, sometimes obviously I'd have no choice but to eat the garbage that was fed in my house, because everything that was fed in my house was garbage. So there were times obviously I had to dive into it a little bit here and there. But for the most part, I made sure my money went to eating good. So when I'm not listening to this man or anybody, right? And the baddest man, he works, from what I understand, okay, from home. So if he's able to obviously, you know, have a job, you know, all this kind of stuff, and there's two of them in the house, right? Trust me when I tell you, you can easily buy healthy food. And also, let's not forget something, right? Bulks. But let's talk about bulks. This guy buys food in bulks, okay? Because the amount of food he has she has to go to the shop at least twice a week, okay, to be based on how many calories he's having on a daily basis. So if he's buying so much junk food, that is 100% going to end up costing so much more than healthy food. And also, people forget this as well, right? Generally speaking, when you eat healthy, you eat less, because healthy food usually kills your appetite. Usually it doesn't make you want to have more. Unhealthy food makes you want more. So the more unhealthy food you eat, so when you eat unhealthy food, you usually want more of it. And the more of it that you have, the more you spend. So if you was to calculate over the space of a week or a month, you'd 100% be spending way much more on unhealthy food than you would be on healthy food. You see what I'm saying? Generally speaking, with healthy food, the only time it gets more expensive is if you go into the store and you're always having to buy fresh veg. But like I said before, for me personally, for me personally, when it comes to veg, I usually buy the frozen stuff. You know what I mean? It's only really lettuces and tomatoes and stuff that, you know, I may have to stock up on them. But to be fair, I don't have them that much anyway. I have more just the frozen veg. You know, the cauliflowers and the broccolis, the peas. You know what I mean? And those things you don't have to stock up like every single freaking day. You know what I mean? Those things are frozen. Do you know what I mean? So generally speaking, the only thing that predominantly makes healthy living expensive is like lettuce, cucumbers, but they're not even expensive. Fruits, you know what I mean? So you can't tell me otherwise. Now, I'm not buying none of this stuff. If you can eat as much as he eats, right, he's spending more money on that than he would be on healthy food. But healthy food would fill him up better. But whatever, let's go. Rant over.
Is that it tends to be more expensive. But I hate.
Yes, I wanted to show this bit because you see his back. This is ridiculous. What's happened to his back here is crazy, but Doctor now later on does explain exactly what this is here, but this is why he's in so much pain. Apart from obviously, you know, being injured and whatnot, all of these, yeah, just whatever.
The longer you're inactive, and the likelihood you're going to be able to walk or move is going to get less and less.
Oh, not physical therapy. I've been to the hospital. They know that I need physical therapy, but having a physical therapist come here
I mean, personally, I call BS on the whole thing about the physical therapy. I feel like he's chosen not to have a physiotherapy, but obviously Dr. Now does then provide him with one.
Hold for me. Come down slow and easy. Ready? I'm going to straighten that knee. Keep your breath moving. Don't hold your breath. Good.
He was giving me a great workout. He got me this bar to pull up, and he has me doing all sorts of exercises to get and that all is going great. I'm already tired of salads, but I'm looking with my wife to see if we can find something else that we could eat that.
If you're a doctor now and the first thing that you hear is that, oh yeah, I'm tired of this, but I'm in my life, I'm looking for alternatives, straight away you know that he's not sticking to his diet. How can he sit there with his chest and say that? Really and truly.
Water mostly here.
Okay.
He likes to drink water a lot.
All right. So no sugar, no juice. Huh?
No.
No.
And here you got a bunch of skin issues that has been chronically infected. A stone will be for him to get to the point that he can put at least feet on the ground and stand up. We need to cut back on whatever we give him now. So make sure whatever he eats is a protein, no carb.
First and foremost, Brenda was lying when she said that all he has is freaking water and no sugars. That's a lie. And you will find out why that is a freaking lie. Honestly, she has not been the best of you know what? The best thing Brenda should have done, she should have left him a very long time ago. But I get it. She loves him, she wants to look after him. But then at the same time, though, the love that she had for him manipulated her to then not look after him and obviously enable him and feed him exactly what he wants, because she's the one that goes to the stores and she's the one that cooks him all his food. The man doesn't leave his bed. She goes and buys everything, she cooks everything. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay? And it's so annoying that she probably thinks that she's doing a good thing because she showed him love when she's not. She's just killing the man. I'm not saying it's necessarily all her fault, but you get the gist. But anyway, yes, if he loses a certain amount of weight, he should be in a position where he should be able to at least sit up on the bed, okay? And then also be able to get to the goal of being able to eventually stand up. Him being mobile is still always going to be a challenge for him for the rest of his life, but just having the ability to be able to sit up on his bed is obviously a good sign, and also just having the ability to stand up anyway is also a good sign too. So those are the two goals. So obviously he has to lose weight. Dr. Now didn't exactly say how much weight he has to lose straight away. He just said you have to lose weight to begin with, and then obviously we can progress from there.
Easier because I lost weight.
Well, are you able to sit in the bed?
I haven't tried that because I don't trust this bed.
When he first arrived, we got his weight, and he was 728 pounds. He is at 605 pounds. So
720 pounds. Now you know why I said this guy was talking BS this whole time about, oh, I'm having salads, but I've had to alternate certain things. I don't like it. Oh, he's having no sugar. He's having just water. Yeah, really? When they picked him up from this house and transferred him to hospital, they weighed him, and man was 720 pounds. This guy was never on a freaking diet the whole freaking time. He never had any intention of doing it. Well, let me not say he never had any intentions. He was never strong enough to do it in the first place. But because he's been on a controlled diet since Dr. Now and his team have taken him to the hospital, he's obviously now lost, over 100 pounds, which is good. But remember, he's done this based on a controlled diet. Hence why I said a little bit of Tammy Slane-esque.
the diet has been hard for him. He's been constantly complaining that he doesn't have enough to eat. Thankfully, his family isn't in Houston, so he did when he got here because the blisters on his side and his back were infected, mostly because he goes to the bathroom in the bed and sits in it. Because it's a strategy to help.
Now you know why his back is the way it was, going to the toilet in the bed and then sitting in it. That's why his skin's all over the joint. Do you know what I mean? It's so disgusting. Now, obviously, Dr. Now does also say just a second ago about how it's been hard to, he has been moaning about obviously the eating and whatnot, but it's a good thing that his family hasn't been there to enable him, because usually his family will be the ones to bring him food, as you heard.
I'll prevent that. One option I'm considering is doing weight loss surgery on him if he goes home. But we need to get his weight down, and I need to see more effort from him before that is an option. With more progress with Abby, we had his weight down almost 200 pounds since he arrived. So he attained the environment he's in, and the fact that he is completely immobile sets him up for failure. So I'm worried if we send you home in the same environment, but you're still in the bed, that you could gain your weight back. Instead of weight loss surgery, you're going to be able to have a better tool to do that.
So are we looking into that, or is that a possibility?
Yes, with your...
I'll tell you what, it actually really infuriated me because he looked so happy that he was getting the surgery. He was like, started crying, all teary-eyed. And the reason why it bothered me is because he didn't earn it, This man was not making any efforts to lose the weight, okay? He only lost the weight because obviously they had to remove his house and bring him here. And honestly, the team that's been around him, they've done a phenomenal job, obviously helping him lose the weight that he needed to lose. But it is crazy though, because he had lost already around about 200 pounds, right? But Dr. Now was still nervous and still cautious about sending him home anytime soon because he's worried that this guy was going to go backwards. And that's why Dr. Now had to do what he normally wouldn't do. He had to be like, you know what, forget it. I'm going to have to give you the surgery regardless, because at the end of the day, if there's any hopes of giving you hope that you can, that for you to continue going, I'm better off letting you leave here knowing that you're at a weight that is lower, and also with the surgery, and obviously the surgery is going to help that. So it really was one of those things where he didn't earn this, you know, he was given to him, but I understand, I respect it, based on obviously what Dr. Now had to do, because obviously that's his job. So yeah, but
So essentially, his femur and his hip now are one bone that have to be broken up surgically. We have his weight down to 489. So we helped him to lose a great deal, but after Dr. Lin, the orthopedic surgeon, saw him, weeks from Abby's weight loss surgery, and we have his weight down to 489. Abby's weight need to be around 350 to try to start to put weight on his legs. I'm going to give you a goal of lose 20 pounds a month, and in 3 months, we're going to bring you back and check your weight, and 60 pounds by then. Okay, today is 477. It's also 450 pounds from your highest weight. So that's 7 when you left, and you should be 60 pounds down, so you should be 417. All right. It looked like if you lose another 70 pounds, you'll be down to 350. We can do your orthopedic procedure and.
so obviously this is his current weight, 403. Obviously he needs to get below that. Obviously he's lost a total of 325. But obviously this whole total of 325 has all been by the help of the doctors and the nurses. So obviously, listen, shout out to them for all their hard work, obviously helping him get there. And also the physical therapist, of course, obviously that's also a big part of it as well. But like I said before, for me personally, this story here was a long one to watch, to be honest. It's very frustrating for me personally, because this guy wasn't trying at all. You know, everything that it just bothered me that he didn't try. Now I am very curious to see how his story does end when it comes to £600. Where are they now? You know, hopefully the story is going to be there, and then obviously when that comes, I can give you guys an update. But there is a little bit more to play here before we disappear.
Apply myself. I lose a little bit more each month. I could be ready for my leg and hip surgery in 3 months.
It's great exercise. You're using your core to maintain, right? It's not fully sitting up, but it's quarter, half.
Well, I mean, obviously, listen, it's been 12 months now, and he's just about halfway off the bed. Ideally, he was meant to be sitting up within 3 months. The physiotherapist said within 3 months, really and truly, if you lose enough weight, we should be able to get you to a place where you should be sitting up from your, obviously, on like where the bed is. But of course, he didn't lose any weight at that time, because obviously this is still when he was at home. You know what I mean? So really and truly, the goal by now, he should have really been able to really stand up. But obviously we didn't get there because the months that went by, he delayed it a lot due to the fact that he just wasn't, you know, he wasn't doing the diet properly. He was obviously still eating, obviously all the food that he wanted, you know what I mean? And like I said before, it wasn't until he was taken in by the doctors to the hospital. And then obviously that's when the work really started to come in. And I think that last bit of work I think they did that within the last maybe 3 to 4 months. Obviously, until obviously the episode was over. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, am I happy for him that that they helped him and they got him to a place where he was able to lose so much weight? 100%. Definitely happy for him in that aspect, you know what I mean? And I just realized something. They said that he's now at 403 and he lost 365 pounds. So that means he was at 768 pounds, right? And I said 720, right? Damn. That was about, boy. They done a lot. They helped him a lot, but I hope that he can now, you know, take the wheel and start to really look after himself and really, you know, make sure that he gets to where he needs to get to. Do you know what I mean? Luckily, he doesn't have kids, because usually these couples have kids, so Jesus. But nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts and your opinions down below, and we can most certainly talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.